English American Literature 2, Glass Menagerie 2, Unit 9. In this unit, we are going to talk about all the parts and the scenes from the play and analyze them one by one. Let us start with part 1. Part 1 is called Preparation for a Gentleman Caller. In scene 1, Tom comes to the stage and introduces us to the play and the characters. The play apparently takes place in the late 30s before the Second World War takes place. Other than Tom, the other characters are his mother Amanda, his sister Laura, and a gentleman caller called Jim. Tom first of all informs the audience about his father who left them, and they are in the dining room as a family. In the first scene, Tom and Amanda quarrel about Tom's chewing something, and Tom complains that Amanda is always giving directions and trying to control his actions. And as for the analysis of this scene, we can say that the apartment, the Wingfield apartment, the general main setting of the place, faces a dark alley, which is also a kind of foreshadowing for the future of the family. It doesn't seem so bright like the alley, it is also dark. And the fire escape is very symbolic. It symbolizes the way or desire of escape for almost all of the characters. Amanda is the mother of the family, and she is trying to control everything, especially related to her children. She is far from reality and living in her own illusions of her past life in the South. She is obsessed with the economic conditions of the family, which is apparently not in good condition. So Laura has no gentleman caller. Amanda wants Laura to have a gentleman caller, and she cannot accept this reality, and she is pushing her children to follow her own directions. In the second scene, we see Laura polishing her glass ornaments. She has a glass menagerie full of animal ornaments, little glasses of animal figures. And Amanda is very unhappy about Laura's lack of attendance to the business school. And she learns that due to lack of attendance, Laura had to quit school. So we learned that Laura had a crush on a boy named Jim at the high school. And this Jim used to call her as Blue Roses, since he misunderstood her illness, blue roses, as blue roses. And Laura reminds her mother that she is crippled and she has to face with this reality, but Amanda again insists on having a gentleman caller for her. In this scene, we see that Laura is extremely shy and she escapes from the society around her. She is hiding her ornaments even from her mother because she knows that her mother will not accept her as she is. And Amanda, as a mother, is really worried about Laura's future. She thinks that her future lies only with the help of a gentleman caller. And Amanda boasts about other features of Laura in order to encourage Laura to be ready for a gentleman caller. We learn here background of Jim as a possible gentleman caller, and we see that Laura is not like her mother and she doesn't want any gentleman callers. In the third scene, Amanda is getting prepared for a possible gentleman caller because she's obsessed with this idea. She makes plans, and in order to bring extra money needed for preparations, she is dealing with those kind of issues. At night, Tom is about to go to the movies, and Amanda is really mad about this and shouts at him. Tom confesses that he doesn't like his job at the warehouse and he wants to quit his job. And again, Tom and Amanda argue one more time. In this scene, Amanda is a character who is determined to find a gentleman caller for Laura because she thinks that the only way to escape for escape of Laura is finding a husband, a proper husband, because the father of the house left them. They don't have a good financial status. So in this scene, Amanda appears as a dedicated woman to find a gentleman caller for Laura. Tom's hatred towards his mother grows every minute, The tension is getting tense every minute. Amanda is far from being sympathetic towards her son. She doesn't try to understand him. And Tom's lack of effective communication with his sister is apparent. And Tom is taking the responsibility of the father figure in the house, which puts a kind of pressure on him. Amanda is afraid that Tom is having the same habits just like his father, and one day he will leave. In the first scene, Tom returns from the movies and is drunk. Amanda is still not talking to Tom directly as a result of their recent argument. Tom goes near his mother and apologizes, and Amanda tells Tom that Laura needs someone, so that as a brother he has to find a kind of gentleman caller. Amanda accuses Tom for being selfish, and reluctantly then Tom promises to find a gentleman caller for Laura in this scene. In this scene, it's obvious that Tom is drinking like his father, having the same habits like his father, and maybe he will leave like his father. He is looking for a way to make his escape smooth. So when Amanda offers such a chance to find a gentleman caller for Laura, Tom agrees so that after finding one, he can leave. Since this may be an opportunity for him to escape without hurting anybody, especially Laura. Amanda is aware that Tom is destined to leave the house, so she insists him on finding a gentleman caller for Laura. In scene 5, Amanda again asks about the gentleman caller Tom promised to bring. Tom says that yes, there is one and he will be visiting tomorrow. Amanda questions Tom about who the gentleman caller is. She asks his name, his job, his position, his origins, especially whether he drinks or not, and his salary. Tom informs his mother that Jim O'Connor, the gentleman caller, is going to the night school, and he again says that he is leaving for the movies. Finding a gentleman caller is obviously what matters for Amanda. And she is far from the realities about Laura, that she is crippled, she is very shy, not social. And Tom is harsh in telling that Laura is living in her own world, very shy and crippled, because Tom is aware of all the realities about Laura. Amanda is still living in the glorious images of her southern past, of the rich and glorious days. And she has dreams like the ones in the fairy tales. And part 2, now the gentleman caller is coming. In scene 6, we see Jim as a high school hero. It is the same Jim Laura knows from high school. He was a very successful kid at the high school, but despite his success and social personality at the high school, Jim now seems not to have met the expectations around him. In this scene, we see that Amanda has worked a lot for the preparations. Then Jim and Tom arrive at the house. Amanda forces Laura to open the door, but Laura does not want to doesn't want to do that upon learning that it is Jim who is coming as a gentleman caller. So Laura says that she is sick and she doesn't want to join the dinner. In this scene, Jim, the gentleman caller, has been through disillusionment after high school, but unlike the other characters, he is very determined now to restore this disillusionment, to get over this disillusionment. Laura is uneasy to meet someone she doesn't know. She's very shy. Tom is more close to his escape since he fulfills his job to find a gentleman caller for Laura. Laura herself is living in a domestic menagerie, whereas Jim is trying to build his own new world made of success. So we see the contradiction between those two characters in the scene. In the next scene, the lights suddenly go off and Jim takes a candle and goes to see Laura. Jim notices that Laura is extremely shy, and Laura is in the scene showing her glass menagerie to Jim. Laura gives Jim the most precious ornament in the menagerie, which is the unicorn. Then they dance and they kiss each other, and suddenly Jim hits the table. The unicorn is broken, and Jim regrets kissing Laura here, and he tells her that he's engaged to another girl. And so after those events, Tom leaves over an argument with Amanda. And at the end of the play, we see that several years now have passed. Tom left his family, left his house, traveled from one place to another, and he remembers all these memories from the past. And we don't know what happened to Amanda and Laura. In this scene, after Jim kisses Laura, it's now possible for Laura to become normal. And the theme of escape is more visible for all characters in this scene. Laura is far from the world outside, and she was so into her own world of glass ornaments and records. And now Amanda is escaping to the glorious memories of her youth, whereas Jim escapes to probable promotion he will receive. The way for escape for Tom is the play itself, and at the end we learn that Tom managed to escape from the harsh reality of his life.